Tonight on Coyote News, see how USD is coming together to spread Earth Day awareness and learn why the university uses social media to stay connected to students. I'm John Wetherington.
And I'm Kathleen Surrey. One Coyote alum is looking to make it into the NFL, and the club baseball team is hoping to improve its season.
Plus, as the end of the semester nears, it's time to evaluate your professors. Hear what they really mean to students, but first the headlines with Abby Pierce.
Australian officials say an object of interest in the search for the missing Malaysian Airlines plane has been found, but Malaysian authorities say it's too early to tell if it's a real lead. Safety Commissioner Martin Dolan says the object appears to be sheet metal with rivets and that it was recovered on the coast of Western Australia. People magazine named actress Lupita Nyong'o as their most beautiful person for 2014. Nyong'o most recently acted in the movie 12 Years a Slave, for which she won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. This year's Most Beautiful cover issue is the 25th annual for People magazine. The siren that you may have heard this morning in Vermilion wasn't for a fire. It was for a tornado drill. Severe Weather Week began Sunday in South Dakota. County emergency managers and National Weather Service officials chose this particular week because the quick transition from winter to summer weather can cause a lot of severe storms in the state. Weather drills and tests will continue for the rest of the week. And those are your headlines.
Earth Day was yesterday, but the USD Sustainability Club is maintaining Earth Day awareness by recognizing the holiday for an entire week. Yesterday, the club held a fair in the muck where organizations, researchers, and local service providers gave students tips about preserving the earth. They received free bags, flower pots, and even water bottles just for signing a pledge to make the environment cleaner. The Sustainability Club hopes spreading sustainability awareness makes USD a greener campus, not just for one day, but every day. And the club's activities go well beyond this week. Coyote News' Taylor Moore is in the muck with a member of the Sustainability Club to find out more about the group's work. Taylor?
Thanks, Kathleen. I'm here live in the muck with one of the co-presidents of the Sustainability Club, Morgan Apley. Thanks so much for coming, Morgan. So, for those that don't know, what is the premise of Earth Day?
Earth Day started in 1970, and it's basically to make sure that we're aware and we remember our responsibilities to the earth. It was in response to a lot of the activism in the 1960s, and it was decided that we needed a national day. So it's celebrated all across the world, so we just need to keep remembering.
Absolutely. And so what is the current state of health of the earth right now?
Well, it depends on who you talk to, but it's definitely easy to say that we need to do something, because if we continue on the path that we're currently on, we're not going to sustain for long. So there are a lot of issues that we need to look at, oil drilling, the effects of global warming, and these things that are seen as controversial, and we need to raise awareness so that we can actually work toward improving the quality of our earth.
And so what are some of the things that we can do in our communities to help ensure the sustainability of the earth?
Even within a small community like Vermilion, we can make sure that we're recycling, we can look at our water use, we can use our bicycles instead of driving cars. Sometimes we think that it's a lot of work to be sustainable, but it really takes small, everyday practices, and it's easy. And if you want any more information, there's tons of things on the internet about all sorts of things that you can do every single day. Take 5-minute showers. You know, the list is endless.
Right. Well, thank you so much. That was Morgan Apley, who is actually one of the co-presidents of the Sustainability Club. Live in the muck, I'm Taylor Moore.
Thanks, Taylor. Tomorrow afternoon, a community-wide trash pickup will be held from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock before the Downtown Sustainability Fair begins at 5. The fair will showcase healthy food options from local vendors. Local utility and recycling companies will offer information on how to make lives greener. A 2-hour hike along the Missouri River will be held Saturday. Hikers will learn about the characteristics, history, and significance of a new river trail. The celebration ends with a community-wide potluck on Monday evening at 6 o'clock at the Vermilion Area Arts Council. Coming up after the break, they may seem like busy work, but you'll learn why students are required to fill out professor evaluation forms. But first, see how USD stays connected on social media. Stay tuned. Involvement in social media isn't just important to students. Digital strategist Howard Thomas says USD uses a variety of sites to reach out to students and alumni. Facebook and Twitter are used as interactive methods of sharing university news, while Instagram captures students' lives. The university also uses LinkedIn to share what USD grads are doing with their degrees. Thanks to social media, Thomas says the university is able to listen to concerns, answer questions, and further develop USD's image.
Students can get tired of wearing the same clothes day after day, so USD students can get rid of any unwanted clothing through the Goodwill Clothing Drive. Coyote News' Erica Arpan is in the muck with Eric Roop. Erica?
Thanks, Kathleen. Many of the different students have been hearing about this great cause. I'm here with one of the students who has brought this charitable project to USD. Thanks for being with us, Eric. How did you get involved in the process?
Well, Goodwill Industries visited our health science class here at the beginning of the semester, and they mentioned that they would like to start a clothing drive here on campus. They've done it at some other schools, and they were really interested in starting it here. So I thought this is something that our campus would do really well at, and we could, make a contribution to them. So a couple days later, I contacted Goodwill and said that we would be interested in starting that. They got back to me, and we kind of came up with a plan. And past month or so, we've been working together and kind of brought together a plan. And now it's kind of in action now and trying to collect some clothes.
Okay. And where do the donated clothes go to?
So all the clothes will be collected, and then towards the end of the month, they're going to be going to Goodwill Industries. They take all the clothes and they put them in retail stores. The money that they get from selling those clothes goes towards the job market to improve the job market and create jobs for people to support their families.
All right, thanks so much. If you have any unwanted clothes, you can drop them off at the many different locations throughout campus until May 9th. Live in the muck, I'm Erica Arpan.
Thanks, Erica. With the end of the semester approaching, students are being asked to fill out professor evaluation forms. The forms are designed to help professors improve the course and what it offers.
I think the professor evaluation forms are really good for professors who, aren't doing so well. I think it really kind of helps them understand what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong.
In the contemporary media and journalism department, there can be 30 or more extra questions on top of the already lengthy evaluation form.
There's like 60-some questions when you get down to it, and if you're a student and you have 4 or 5 classes, you're doing them all one day usually, so I think they just get tired of doing them and whip through them really quickly, and they don't work very well. We do take them seriously. Each department looks at them to evaluate whether or not we're meeting the needs of the students and if the teachers are doing a decent enough job teaching in the classroom.
USD plans on modifying the evaluation forms, but no changes have been made yet.
On this week's Coyote blog, Charlie Daldorf knows what he's doing this summer, but is worried about the other jobs students will be working over the break.
Hello everybody. I hope everybody is super excited for the summer, because I sure will be. I will be making trips to Seattle, Rapid, and possibly Atlanta, all in the name of academic research. It's a pretty cushy job, and the only way to make it there is by making it past having not so cushy jobs. And if you have one of those, I feel terribly sorry for you. Well, I used to be a dishwasher. I used to sail the 7 soapy seas with my dishwashing skills back at Pizza Ranch. And during the summer, it could easily get 80 to 85 degrees in that room because you gotta keep that water hot and running. But you know who has an even hotter job, in a bad way? Mascots. Yeah, those people who stand out in the sun, waving at people, begging them to come into their store. The costume might look happy, but the poor person inside is sweaty and miserable. And then there's warehouse workers. I know one particular person who says his experience was similar to a glorified high school. None of the fun, but with 100 times the drama and gossip. And we can't forget fast food workers and janitors. At that point, you're at the bottom rung of the ladder. The good news is any job you take after that is going to be a step in the right direction. If you have any of these jobs this summer, give it your best shot, and better luck next time. For Coyote Blog, I'm Charlie Daldorf, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Charlie. Coming up after the break, graduating seniors are finishing up on their department portfolios. But first, learn which new instruments the National Music Museum acquired this year. Stay with us.
We're good to go. When I said we needed new talent, I meant new anchors.
Each year, many musical instruments are donated to the National Music Museum. Some of those instruments are put in storage, while others are put on display. For the first time ever, these unusual and remarkable instruments are on display to the public. The exhibit is unique to USD, and the instruments are specially chosen.
These are harder to come by. These are instruments that stretch our own expertise and our ability to acquire the kinds of things that don't come to us as readily.
Director Cleveland Johnson says it's important for there to be a wide variety of instruments at the museum.
We would love to be able to say that we represent all cultures and all places and all types of people and musical traditions.
The new acquisitions will be on display throughout the rest of the semester. The museum is hosting an open house during commencement weekend with extended hours, free admission, and special programs for graduates and their families. The National Music Museum admission is always free for USD students.
For the third straight summer, the South Dakota Shakespeare Festival will perform another well-known play. The group strives to increase the cultural, artistic, and educational offerings in the region. This year, the three-day festival will present The Taming of the Shrew. It's about a wealthy Italian family where money talks and tradition rules. Shea Gordon-Bland, co-founder of the group, says Shakespeare's works and words reveal depths of humanity, bring audiences to laughter and tears, and stimulate deep thinking. Shakespeare would be 450 years old today. He wrote 39 plays and over 150 sonnets and poems. Some of his most famous plays are Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, and Macbeth.
Caps and gowns will soon fill the bookstore in the Muck. With graduation just 2 weeks away, Yote reporter Bailey Millen says many students are finishing last-minute projects to complete all their requirements.
Each division of schools at USC has their own set of requirements. In the Division of Kinesiology and Sports Science, Department Chair Andrew Shim says the requirements for graduation vary throughout the different departments.
For sport management, you have a full 480-hour internship that's required in something of the aspect of the field. For exercise science, it could be in strength and conditioning, an internship, or it could be doing clinical work with a physical therapist. And then with our physical education, teacher education, it's doing our student teaching.
Shim says when searching for internships, the KSS division highly encourages students to go out of the state.
We have sent people to New York already, and Anthony Hedgstrom was interning with the New York Islanders. We have sent Jeff Mettler, the Scholastic All-American, to Cat Sports in Pasadena to work with Dave Beckham, and we've sent Bert Kimmitz to San Antonio, Texas to work at USAA Federal Bank and Insurance doing corporate fitness.
In the College of Fine Arts, art students have a little different type of requirements to fulfill. Department of Art Chair Corey Nedler says the first important step is for students to take a class called Degree Project.
In that class, we help them write their resume, write their artist statement, help them understand how to get into galleries.
Corey Nedler says fine arts students begin their preparation for graduation as juniors.
They will put up an exhibition of their work and the entire department, and it's open to the public as well. They have a defense essentially, so they put their work up and then they talk about their work.
As a final exhibition, students are required to hang and light their work as if in a gallery. Education students are required to pass multiple exams, while the contemporary media and journalism students must submit a portfolio of their work. For the Yote Report, I'm Bailey Millen.
Coming up after the break, a former USD football player is trying to make it in the NFL. And the USD club baseball team is hoping to improve its season. Stay tuned.
Spain is known for many things. It's food, it's dancing, it's bullfighting, and fiesta.
Sometimes the classroom just isn't enough.
Step outside the classroom. Experience what it's like to go snorkeling in the Atlantic or ride a camel in Morocco. With the Global Learning Program at USD, you can earn credits taking the trip of a lifetime overseas. Experience what you're missing. Experience global learning.
Tonight in Coyote Sports, the softball team scored 17 runs and had 4 home runs in a doubleheader. And the golf teams finished their season at the Summit League Championships. I'm Nathan Ellenbecker.
And I'm Nicole Griffith. A former Coyote is hoping to make it in the NFL, and sports commentator Courtney Sterrett explains why hockey players have facial hair. First, the headlines. Abby?
Joe Paterno might have another statue built, but this time not on the campus of Penn State. His former iconic statue was torn down 2 years ago. Alumni have been given the okay to install a life-size bronze sculpture costing $300,000. The sculpture will be installed downtown instead of at the university. The oldest ex-baseball major league player has died. 102-year-old Conrado Marrero died today, just 2 days before his 103rd birthday. Marrero pitched for the Washington Senators in the 1950s. He was known for his control and presence on the mound. The top-seeded Pacers are back on track after winning their game against the 8th-seeded Atlanta Hawks to even the series at 1-1. Despite being down at the half, the Pacers only allowed 33 second-half points from the Hawks. The last number 8 seed to beat the number 1 was when the Memphis Grizzlies defeated the Spurs in 2011. And those are your headlines.
Craig Smith has been leading the USD men's basketball team for less than a month, but Coyote News' Grant Boziacki says the program's already undergoing changes.
The Coyotes' first 3 years in the Summit League didn't go exactly as planned, winning only 16 games over that span. And after a first-round loss in last March's Summit League tournament, athletic director David Herbster announced the school would be looking for a new man to right the ship. It's been 3 weeks since the University of South Dakota named Craig Smith as their men's head basketball coach, and he's been a busy man ever since. I got a hold of Smith to see what he's been doing in these last 3 weeks and what he has in store for the future.
It's been nuts, but it's been a great problem to have. You're constantly forming a culture within your program, so the first item is just to get to know all the players in the program, understand who they are as people, understand what they can bring to the table, both on and off the floor, get caught up to speed with how they're doing academically, how they're doing in the weight room, so on and so forth. It's been crazy and hectic, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
Starting point guard Trey Norris said he thinks Smith is going to be able to bring a lot to the table as the head coach of the basketball team.
He's very enthused with his job. He's ready to come in and start working with us, change it around very quickly. I think we're going to learn a lot from him, coming from Nebraska. He knows a lot that we don't, so I think he can just help us all together.
Despite only being here a couple of weeks, Smith said he can already tell the future is bright at USD.
When you look at our future with our new facilities, when we have a $66 million new arena, new practice facility, we just feel like the sky's the limit at the University of South Dakota.
For Coyote News, I'm Grant Boziacki.
The USD golf season is over. The men and women's seasons ended today on the last round of the Summit League tournament. The men finished in 5th place, led by Alex Klein, who shot 10 over par, and Cody Seal shot 14 over par. The women finished in 7th place, led by a 12th place finish by Janice Bomberger, shooting 22 over par. Earlier this week, the league office named Sam Matthew, Brenna Lervick, and Klein to the All-Summit League golf teams. The Coyote softball team split their doubleheader with Iowa State, but pounded out 4 home runs and scored 17 runs in the 2 games. In Game 1, USD led 4-0 before starting pitcher Rachel Koo exited the game with an injury. The Coyotes rallied to win 6-5, but USD controlled the second game, winning 12-3. Katie Dinning led the way with 5 hits, and Allie Daly added 4. The Yotes are now 25-17 on the season and will take on rival SDSU in Brookings this weekend.
Former student athletes have been putting USD in the national spotlight for decades. One recent graduate hopes to be another shining Coyote star. With the NFL draft a mere 15 days away, Former linebacker Tyler Starr has been working around the clock to better himself. He says he learned early that the grind to get to the top never stops.
Well, I thought as soon as the season was over, it'd be, get a little bit of break and be able to rest up a little bit, but it ends up being I had to work twice as hard, and workouts didn't stop, coming in for workouts in the morning and workouts in the afternoon, and it's just been just like the season.
Starr's work hasn't gone unnoticed, attracting attention at both the East-West Shrine Game in January as well as the NFL Combine in February. USD head strength and conditioning coach Jevin Bauman says it's been a great experience coaching Starr and seeing his growth.
He was one of my first classes as the head strength coach with no interim tag, and I've seen him mature from a young, wild freshman into a superb athlete, a mature human being.
Bowman says that athletes like Starr leave a significant impact on his life.
It's been a ride. I'm very blessed to be able to say that I've coached him. He's made me a better coach, and our relationship's pretty special on and off the field.
The first round of the draft starts May 8th, followed by the second and third rounds on the 9th. The final rounds 4 through 7 will be on Saturday, the 10th. The NFL Network and ESPN will both provide full coverage of the event.
The Coyote track and field teams participated in multiple meets in California this past weekend. USD thrower Dustin Valin was named Summit League Athlete of the Week after throwing a league best mark of 175 feet 10 inches. Distance runner Amber Eichhorn set a new school record in the 10,000, and pole vaulters Bethany Furzik and Hunter Wilkes both won their separate meets. The teams will compete at the Drake Relays beginning tomorrow.
Although the USD Club baseball team lost 5 seniors from the previous year, the players are optimistic that this year will be a successful season.
There's a lot of new guys filling in, taking new roles, maybe playing positions they wouldn't normally play, so it's tough for the young guys to come in and play, but they're doing a pretty good job so far.
Beginning of fall, we host a tryout. Every year we post flyers in all the dorms, and current players come back and help put them on, and we usually select anywhere from 5 to 10 players every year to come on the team.
Funding for the club's team's equipment and travel comes from both the SGA and private donations.
I'd say our goals for this season are just to keep improving every weekend. We got a younger group of guys this year, so it's going to be a kind of a learning experience, but I feel like we should be all right.
They'll be playing at Minnesota State Mankato on May 3rd and 4th. On this week's sports commentary, Courtney Sterrett sheds some light on why facial hair is a part of the game when it comes to hockey.
The other day while I was watching some playoff hockey, someone asked why the players have those nasty beards. Beards are more of an acquired taste when it comes to facial hair in the ladies, but let me tell you that those nasty beards they're growing aren't for attracting dates. 3 words: Stanley Cup playoffs. For a little history lesson, it all started back in the 80s when the Islanders started this hairy tradition. They'd won 4 Stanley Cups in a row, so there had to be some type of trick to this beard-growing phenomenon. Thus, the infamous playoff beard was born. The tradition is that when the Stanley Cup playoffs begin, players put down the razor and let the hair flow until they're either eliminated or win the Stanley Cup. If a team is having a really rough time, they're allowed to shave or trim their facial hair with the hopes of turning their luck around. I think traditions like this are great. It helps keep up their spirits, and it's harmless. There may be negative side effects for their wives, girlfriends, or their concerned mothers, but it's the risk you take. Plus, the only kiss the players truly want right now is the one they give the cup when they win the championship. For those who didn't know about this tradition, I'm happy to have informed you. Now you can show more support and understand the story behind the ruggedness. For Coyote Sports, I'm Courtney Sterrett.
Thanks, Courtney. Coming up, Earth Day is over, but Earth Week continues, and Chuck sees if that is what USD students are talking about in the muck. Stay tuned.
We're good to go. When I said we needed new talent, I meant new anchors.
At the end of each semester, students are required to fill out professor evaluation forms.
Those forms can determine many things, including if a professor gets a raise. On this week's Out and About, we asked students how seriously they take professor evaluation forms.
They're very serious because some of them, they really care about what they do.
Not very seriously at all.
I take them seriously.
I just press C for everything.
Like, if they're a terrible teacher, I'll make sure to do it.
I think it's important because teachers need to know, like, what their students think of them.
Honestly, for me, it kind of depends on the teacher. Most teachers I'm just okay with, but if it's one I really like or one I really don't like, I tend to take those ones a little more seriously.
Depends on the professor, to be honest.
Well, I would say I take teacher evaluations pretty seriously.
I feel like I have them pretty much memorized now.
I think that's important for students to be able to kind of get their opinions on the teachers that they've had.
They take them very seriously. I don't care about it, so as long as they're teaching me.
I personally don't take them very seriously just because I don't know how the teachers take them.
I take them seriously. The teachers, they do deserve that.
I don't take them seriously at all. Sorry.
As mentioned earlier in the newscast, USD is hosting many Earth Day events this week.
On this week's Chuck in the Muck, Chuck asked students if they're celebrating Earth Week.
I'm famous, so is it okay if I have this?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. Let's carry on. Earth Week is about recycling, keeping in mind global warming, and reducing waste. Here we are at Campus Information Desk. As we know, the biggest waste of resources on campus at USD. Everyone here celebrates Earth Week.
Yeah.
Can I get a little more enthusiasm? Everybody here celebrates Earth Week?
Yeah!
Yeah. This desk is where the Volant stand was set up earlier today. Talking about the new online Volant. They must have gotten a little scared when the biggest online celebrity on campus came into town. That's good. Oh my God, there's Waldo. Global warming. Look at that. If you ever need a table at Red's, I can get you one. As you can see, we have already lost Waldo. We planned on coming back to interview her, and as far as we know, she's completely gone, and we didn't even leave the area, so where's Waldo? I can't see that guy's torso, he's camouflaged.
Well, I guess what are you doing Earth Day? Like plant trees?
Well, or just celebrate the Earth.
How do I go about that?
I mean, I do think I make an effort when it's convenient for me, but that's terrible.
You ever like plant a tree or anything?
Yeah.
Does it make you feel a little better?
Yeah, I go and hug it afterward.
It should make you feel better. I mean, it's convenient for the Earth, I guess, whenever you feel. I saw you guys talking, and I was wondering, were you talking about Earth Day coming up?
No.
I'm too old for recycling. Whenever my roommates blow their nose with toilet paper and throw it in the waste bin, I use that as my toilet paper instead of using new toilet paper. Recycling. It's great. This has been Chuck in the Muck.
A new copy of the Volant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a paper to read about the plans for a new multicultural center at the university and why Greek students are lobbying in Washington, D.C.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you'd like to be a part of the Coyote News team, auditions are being held Friday and Monday in the Newharth Center. All majors are invited to try out.
Have a great night. Coyote News is done for this semester, but we'll see you next week for the Red Reports.
We're good to go. When I said we needed new talent, I meant new anchors.